My name is Karl Juhlke, and I'm the developer behind Time Passes. This is a quick strategy game for 1 to 2 players, where players take turns placing down activity cards on the timeline, trying to be the most productive player without becoming exhausted at the end of the day. Each card has 8 different activities on it, 4 productive activities marked by orange arrows, and 4 resting activities marked by blue arrows, which will respectively add and subtract from the player's total productivity score. Cards can be placed face up or face down and can be rotated in either direction to add or remove activities from their timeline. The timeline is where you place your cards down onto, and is shared with the other player, meaning whatever you put down for your day affects their day as well. Placing cards seems tricky, but if you follow these general rules, you should be fine. Cards can be placed partially on a face-up card, but can't completely cover a fully visible face-up card. Only face-up cards can be placed directly beside the timeline without being on top of an activity. The only time a card can be placed under another card is when a face-up card is placed partially under a face-down card at the edge of the timeline. At least one activity must still be visible, so you can't put it completely under. Face-down cards need to be placed on at least one activity, and also one activity away from another face-down card. The game ends at the end of the day when all cards have been played on the timeline. The player who has the highest productivity score without being exhausted wins. For an added challenge, you can play with the realistic variation. If you're exhausted at any point during gameplay, you lose the game. If you're more of a solo gamer, you can play the solo variation, which has you managing both sides of the timeline. After following the setup instructions, you're restricted to placing cards as they appear in the deck. You can't flip or rotate them in this mode. You also have to place down your current card knowing you need to play down your next card as well. For example, you can't make this move even though it's normally allowed because it would prevent you from placing down the next card. This has been Time Passes. Thanks for watching and thank you to everyone for your input. I hope you enjoy Time Passes.